Good evening, Mr. Calhoun.
Yes, how are you?
So good to see you again.
Always, always.
All right, all right. Well, I think a lot of what I'm about to say you already know, um, but the board is now looking for someone to fulfill the last 2 years of one of our previous board members' tenure. Um, that's going to be a 2-year term. Um, I think you remember, and if you don't remember the responsibilities of the board, our biggest responsibility is disciplines and transfers. That's the bulk of what we do. We also try to maintain a solid relationship with all of our schools in our district, as well as with the district itself. We have some great associates that work with us, our liaisons. One which is online with us right now, Miss Simmons.
Hey,
Of course, we are a 5-member board. Uh, we just want to make sure we get somebody in that is going to be able to be stable and be with us whenever we have meetings. As you know, we're supposed to have meetings twice a month, but that generally has not worked.
mhm.
We've done every Thursday for quite some time, but it's been, we're looking for somebody dedicated, somebody that says they're going to be there and they're going to be there and be able to do things we need to do. Um, Again, tell us a little bit about you.
Word. Again, good day, everyone. My name is, excuse me, Darren Lee Calhoun II. I am at the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture. I run the public programming and outreach, as well as run the facilities and the Race and Social Justice Initiative at the College of Charleston. I've been in Charleston now for 8 years, and I will be here for a much longer time. As some of you may know, I have a child coming who will be a D10 student. It's still saying that as wow. But yes, I do have a child coming who will be a D10 student. My partner does teach at Stono Elementary over at teaches kindergarten over at Stono, so I'm very dedicated to District 10 and also CCD. Um, I'm also one who have been a organizer as well as an activist as far as quality education for our public school students inside of CCSD as well as public schools throughout of all public schools throughout America. I'm very committed to our public schools, being a public school uh, recipient myself through all 18 years of my life. So, being a public school student, as I understand how many students are left behind because they have not received the resources that they should have been receiving through our public school education. So I'm very dedicated to our public schools, and now uh, my particular strife is with District 10. I want to see District 10 receive every resource that they can get and see our students receive everything that they can. While I was on board a few years ago, many of you may remember me advocating for this boat trip I had kind of coming up. And I'm glad to report that it did happen last year. Last summer, we took 13 students, and 5 of those students who actually came in front of the board meeting back while I was on the board and D10 were on that boat with us. And it was a great 4 days, and they learned so much about resistance and rebellion through waterways, as well as sustenance and sustaining themselves through waterways. In Charleston, South Carolina, they came on that boat and they learned. And from what I can gather so far is that all 5 of those students did return from TPA, which I've been advocating more resources for TPA inside of CCSD over the last year and a half, 2 years. Um, I've been advocating for that, and they have returned to West Ashley High School as well as C. Williams since that trip. And I look forward to keep building with those students since being on the board and just being an advocate for D10 schools as well as CCSD as a whole. Um, I guess that's what I can say about myself. I am very, very dedicated. I am I'm very hopeful that D10 could be all that it can be and trying to get CCSD to put more resources into our schools over in West Ashley.
Good, good. Thank you very much. And true, yes, we do. We remember how you were and
Mm,
appreciate all that you did.
appreciate it.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions for him?
I do.
All right.
Hey, it's so good to see you. So thanks so much for telling us about the boat trip. That is so wonderful, and I'm glad to hear about TPA because I really think that that has been instrumental in helping many of our students. And I just, I mean, when you start talking about that, I was about to cry because I just get so passionate about hearing our students when someone invests their time and heart into really helping them. So um, I am approaching the end of my 8th year, and as you know, I'm very passionate about the discipline area because I um, always want to make sure each child has a fair shot at explaining themselves. And um, I really don't have any questions for you. I just want to tell you that while you were on the board previously, I was um, very impressed with how you were with the students and how you want to mentor, how you want to be there, all of the things that you're involved with. I commend you. I think it's remarkable, and I think you do bring a lot to offer in anything that you dive into. And I'm very happy to hear that you're going to be a father. Congratulations. That's awesome because I just know you're going to be an excellent father. And I want to know where your hair went.
Yeah, it had to go. Too heavy. It was 10 years worth of hair, and I had to. It was. I took it off, but it will be coming back very soon. I'm going to get them reattached over the next few months. So I
That's all I have. But yeah, thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you've done. And it's good to see you. It's really good to see you. You look well, stay well, and congratulations again. That's exciting.
thank you. It's crazy. Still saying it. It's crazy. So it's coming.
Yeah, you can only do that once. You can only do that once.
You can only do what once.
They don't like you doing that. Oh, I'm
I was like, man, you can't grow your hair out there.
We got one time left. 32 now. I gotta do it while I can.
That's right. That's great. So Miss Anderson's on here. She might have a question. Cynthia?
No, man, I'm good. I just appreciate everything Mr. Calhoun done when he was on the board. So thank you and congratulations.
Good to see it from you, Cynthia.
okay. I apologize. I turned my camera off, but I didn't turn my mic off. Okay, Mr. Calhoun, we thank you so very much. We will be in touch with you. We're going to finish out our interviewing process and we will send forward names to the district and then we will move forward.
Yeah, Ryan, if you got a chance, can I ask a question?
Yes.
With going virtual, have we seen less cancellations with parents and or postponements with parents with going virtual? And do we see D10 moving forward with the virtual meetings?
Um, I think the virtual meetings for our board is going to depend on how they approach having in-person school.
Mm-hmm.
It's really going to depend on how I know they're starting with, I think, 25% capacity to start with. I think as this moves forward, they're going to move more toward us having in-person meetings. Um, we I've done a lot of Zoom meetings since this pandemic has been on. Um, not just with the school board, with some other things that I'm with, but I think we're going to follow the pattern that the district uses.
Right.
when they say, okay, it's good to go back into the buildings, I think it's going to be easier for us to be able to do that. But until then, I think we're going to continue to do the Zoom meetings.
Do you see any accessibility, more accessibility from the parents going virtual? As far as like, we had a lot of postponements. We had a lot of people who weren't able to make it because of work and this and that. Do you see the accessibility from the parents' side of it being better as far as the meetings happening?
I think on their side, we've had, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we've had 4 hearings since the pandemic that carried over from last year. And I don't believe we had any cancellation on any of those meetings. I think everybody was able to be there.
Yeah, even one group were in their car because they actually went to the school, and they called in on their phone and did it on the car while they were in the car.
Okay.
So it's not been that big of a problem.
Yeah. I would figure that more. We had a lot of parents who weren't able to make it because of work, and we had to keep postponing and postponing and postponing.
Yeah.
Having that virtual, even if we were to go back inside of the building, being able to set it up for them to come in virtually, it may seem
would probably help. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. And I will say that this past year, before the COVID shutdown, we didn't have as big of an issue with families not showing up or having to postpone. It seemed as though it seemed as though we had less cancellations. Would you say, Rodney?
Yes.
Yeah, this year. And yeah, so it's been before the shutdown, this year was actually probably one of our best years that we've had in a long time as far as with discipline. They really have cracked down on discipline at schools, and we're doing a tremendous job. So yeah, it's been a good year. And up until COVID, it was great.
Good to hear. Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you, sir. And Ms. Champagne will be in touch with you. We're going to send forth our names to the county board or to the district, and then we'll move forward from there.
Absolutely. I look forward to hearing from you all.
All right, sir. You have a wonderful evening.
Yes, peace.
Mr. Calhoun, you can continue watching on YouTube if you would like to.
I will. I'll be on.
Okay.
6:30, I think. Yeah. All right. Peace.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I have Miss Baxter on the line. If you're ready to move forward with her.
Move forward.
All right.
Good. Oh, there she is. Good evening again, Miss Baxter.
Good evening, Mr. Lewis.
We are back. We have everything. All our technical issues are now in line. Since we advertise this as being on YouTube, we're going to redo this. So
yes, sir.
Again, I will go through explaining how this board functions and our responsibilities, and then we'll hear again from you. What you're going to do if you're selected is fill a seat, a 2-year term, that was vacated by one of our board members. Our board basically hears discipline cases, and we handle the redistricting of District 10. We just recently went through some redistricting with our middle schools. A year ago, we did our elementary schools. As our district grows, it will probably become more frequent that we redistrict. West Ashley is a growing area. It seems like every time we do this, By the time school opens, there are more people to be moved in our area. So it prompts us to have to go to the table again. Our meetings were designed to be twice a month on Thursdays. Second, no, first and third Thursday of every month. But our board will tend to sometimes have to meet every Thursday. There are occasions that we have call meetings other than Thursdays. But we really need somebody that would be available to meet on those days. Sometimes our meetings go long. Has not been that way for a while, but we've actually met from 5 o'clock until after 11 on a few occasions. And we just need to make sure that whoever we get the full list seat is somebody that's committed and be dedicated to being there when, like I said earlier, we try to allow every board member to have a relationship with the schools in our district. That way, when there's something needed, our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers know that they have somebody on the board that they can contact if they need anything in the building, and we will address it with our liaisons from the district. Again, any questions from you?
No, sir. I understand. I'm available on Thursdays for the commitment. I'm dedicated. I've always been dedicated to scholars, so that's not even an issue. My Thursdays are fine. Again, I guess when it's time for me to do my introduction, you'll find out that I have 3 kids, so I'm used to um, attending meetings within the school district and making sure that I'm able to be fully in the seat at the table.
Okay.
So with that, Ms. Baxter, why don't you go ahead and give us your background that you would like for us to know?
Okay. Again, my name is Radia Baxter. I am a Charleston resident in West Ashley. I've been here since 1997. I have 3 kids. Their ages are 21, 20, and 14. My 14-year-old daughter attends James Allen Charter. My 20-year-old son is a junior at South Carolina State, and my 21-year-old son is a senior at Howard University. I currently work for Charleston Promise Neighborhood. I am their community engagement program director, and Charleston Promise Neighborhood is a nonprofit organization that works along with Charleston County School District in the elementary and middle school and high school space. Um, I have been in the nonprofit and community engagement world for about 15 to 20 years. I've also done work in juvenile justice. I am a juvenile arbitrator for the for the solicitor for District 9. And I guess that's basically about me. I've done a lot of public policy and advocacy work, student engagement, work in the community. I've worked on several campaigns also.
Okay. All right. Any board members have any questions?
I do. Hey, Ms. Baxter, it's Jennifer Osteen again. So as I mentioned earlier, and Rodney just mentioned that there are some Thursdays that go really late, and you said that you would not have a problem with it being available, because in the past we've had, where, and we've always been understanding that when people get sick and they can't make it, that's definitely understandable. If anything, if an emergency comes up, all of those things, but just that, on Thursdays, it's a real commitment. Rodney did mention about the when we rezone for schools, sometimes it can add different times, like maybe a Saturday or a Tuesday. I mean, we have to put in even more time. So, so there's also additional days that might come up just besides Thursdays when we have a big project going on. So you would be available for those things?
Yes, I will be.
Okay. And the other question, I had one other question for you and it totally has slipped. I think I'm going to leave it at that because I forgot.
Sorry,
No, I do know. So were you thinking about running for District 10 for this election? Because 2 seats will be coming available, which is Miss Anderson's seat and my seat will be coming available for the November election. And so I just didn't know if you had thought about running in the election, depending on if you get in through interview or not.
No, so I was actually just interested in the appointment. But if I am, if you guys don't regard me as a great candidate for this position, then I don't see why I would not try to run for the seats that are available.
Okay, so just so you know, I believe the cutoff date is coming. I believe the cutoff date for that is
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
And so that would be my other question. That was one of my questions that I realized I didn't get. When would you guys make your decision?
You probably, so it takes a little while and Rodney will tell you the process, but if I was you, I would go ahead and go and register.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
I
in
agree with
case.
that too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just go ahead and register because you can always, you know, depending on what happens, you can always, you know, call them up and say, okay, I'm not running, but I would definitely get on there no matter what, get on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, because well, no, that's going to go beyond November. Okay, but that's correct. Any other questions?
Timeline, Mr. Lewis, did you have a timeline for her, or is it as soon as possible?
It's going to be as soon as possible because we're going to make a decision and send it up to the district office. And I guess at that point, it's going to depend on what time frame they're going to take our choice and decide on, okay, that's what they're going to move forward with. But we're going to do our part immediately. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, nice meeting.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Okay, and that is all of the candidates we have for this evening.
Okay.
If we can get a motion to go into executive session so the board can deliberate, please.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's have it.
All right.
You are now in executive session.